Well, I wonder if Gracie's got everything out for the pepper steak tonight. Well, she's got a cutting board, a knife. Oh, she's got the peppers, the onion, the garlic, the sesame seed oil, the kikkoman, stir-fry sauce, a little black pepper, and she already took out our marinated velvetized beef. Yeah, that's it. Got the wok on the stove. Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. I didn't see you there when I came on in from the outside. Watering the garden again today. You know, we're under a heat dome. As if we haven't been under one before. But hey, it's getting close to supper time. And Gracie and I want to do a quick pepper steak stir fry. And if you'd like to see how I do it, it's ever so easy. And come on, pull up a chair, grab a snack and a cold drink too. And join us in the little old country kitchen as we make up some quick and easy pepper steak too. Okay? Well, as you see, Gracie's got most of everything out. At least I think so. She's got us out a cutting board, a nice knife. Yeah, look at those fine peppers there. Now what we're using, rather than going traditionally with bell peppers, we're using some sweet, ripe banana peppers. Ooh, I'm going to tell you, that's going to add a whole other level of flavor to the standard pepper steak stir fry. Of course, we've got a white onion and a garlic head. We'll be using 2 of those garlic cloves. We've got some toasted sesame seed oil and some of the kikkoman stir fry sauce. I used to make my own sauce, you know, with oyster sauce, fish sauce, soy sauce, ginger, and what have you. But ever since I found the kikkoman stir fry sauce, I've just been going with it. We're also going to be adding a little bit of black pepper because I like that peppery bite. And hey, then you got to have the beef. And in this bowl you'll see already chopped up and laying in some sauce. Yeah, you have to watch the previous video about how you can turn your cheap cut beef into a tender, amazing morsel too. Yeah, it's called velvetizing your beef. So watch that video and know how to do it. You'll be ever so pleased. So there you have it. That's what we need. And that's what we're going to get started on. We're going to get dicing or slicing some of those peppers, the onion, crushing, and dicing some garlic too. Yeah, since Gracie, you know, she ain't got no thumbs, she couldn't get all that done before I came in. We'll get the wok heated up and we'll get this going on. So the first thing we got to do is, of course, prepare our peppers. Yes, we do. And it's not too hard. We're just going to cut through the top right here. Not all the way through. Cut it right on off. Can you see that in there? We're going to reach a finger in there and snatch out those seeds. And you don't got to get them all. We're going to put them in the old compost bag. Right there. Whew. And like I say, if you leave a few seeds in, it ain't no problem. It'll be okay. Yeah. And then, all we're going to do is we're going to take that pepper and we're going to half it. We're going to half them again. Just like that. And then we can scrape out any seeds that we want to. Just like here. Just take your knife, scrape the seeds out on the cutting board, put them to the side. It ain't that hard. Yeah, I mean, this is the hardest part of this meal, is prepping your peppers, dicing up your onion, and getting your garlic done too. So we'll get these all deep pepper seeded. And if you want, you can use your thumb and rake them out too, just like that. Yeah, and I say just like that, and they don't want to come off. They're fighting me at every turn. But like I say, if you leave one or two, it'll be just fine. Here, I'm going to get me a paper towel and wipe my cutting board off of all these here peppers. See, we got all around it. So we're just going to drop those into my hand, just like that. Hopefully not get any on the floor. And there we go. Put them on in a little compost bag. Now, I'm going to give these another slice right down the middle too. Because I want nice thin strips. And then I'm going to cut them into about an inch to an inch and a half. Just like that. It's not all that hard. Even you can do it. I mean, Gracie could almost do it if she had some thumbs. And of course, these peppers are sort of in all different types of shapes and what have you. It does make it a little more difficult. And there you have it. That's what we're going to be doing. And then we'll just rake them off into the bowl. And we're going to proceed with the rest of the peppers we got on the counter here that we'll be using in the dish yet to come. So we'll be back when we're done. Well, we got our peppers all de-seeded and cut up. Look at them. I mean, come on. Fresh out of the garden. Red and orange and yellow too. Quite festive, don't you think? For a pepper steak stir fry? I think it is. Better than just going with the old standard green bell pepper. Or red one too. So now, since we got our peppers done, we got to get our onion cleaned, peeled, and sliced up too. We'll be using a small white onion tonight because it's what I had on hand. So that's what we're going to use. And we just don't do anything special when we're getting this all done. We just cut off both ends, cut it in half, and then we peel away. It ain't that hard. Try not to peel too much and waste your onion. There we have it. And peel goes in the bag. And later tonight, we'll take it on out to the compost pile too. Now if you want more onion, or you want to use a different type, then go ahead and do that too. You can use yellow onion, red onion, if you really want to make it super festive and colorful. Pardon me while I put this in the compost bag. So, we're just going to take this onion. We're going to give it some nice slices. As thin as you want, or as thick as you want. I'm going at about 1/8. That's what I want. Right there. And then I'm going to take it again and slice it right down the middle. Don't worry. They'll come apart and separate as they cook. We'll just dump all them over in the veggie bowl. If we can. Things are getting out of hand. Let's get this other half done. Just like that. And there we go. We'll toss the onion on in there on the cutting board. Ready for the fry. Only thing left is to peel and mince up a couple of heads of this fine fresh garlic to go along with our peppers and onions and our steak and our stir fry. Ooh, I love that garlic. I'm going to be using 2 cloves. And garlic ain't hard. Now you can use the jarred kind if you want. That's up to you. Personally, I don't. And I crush my garlic with the back of my little knife. And then I just peel it away. Oh, looks like this one's got a little bit of bad on it, but that's okay. We'll just cut it away. And if you've ever peeled garlic, I mean, there's all ways to do it. You can put it in glass, shake it up, put it in pans, all that kind of fancy stuff, like I've seen on the internet too. TikTok, YouTube shorts, and all that. But it ain't that hard. Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it just don't want to cooperate and peel for you. And this is a clove that's being rather stubborn. Yes, it is. But there's one. There's the other half of the one. And 2. So it wasn't all that hard to do. I'm going to have to wash up because now my fingers are rather sticky from the garlic juice. That's what the crushing does. It releases the garlic juice and adds way more flavor than if you throw it in whole or coarsely chopped. So let's get this garlic trimmed a little bit. I could do another clove if I really wanted to, and I think I will. This clove here is looking rather sad, as you can see. So let's break out another clove from that garlic head we had. You see, the key here is we had ginger in the seasoning of the marinade that's making our beef also more tender than what it would be. So the only other besides seasonings in the stir fry sauce from Kiekelman is black pepper. This garlic is really wanting to be uncooperative today, and I know I'll get comments from many of you that have better ways to do it than I. Well, we got sort of kind of got it there, and that'll be okay. Hey, this is real life cooking in a little old country kitchen. You see it as it happens. Not much editing involved. Well, I can tell you that garlic's rather strong. Cut the little ends off because we don't want them. Another little end here. And then we'll just mince it up. It's just that simple. Okay? And you can make it as small of a mince or a chop that suits you. And granted, that jar stuff is rather convenient, but it's rather milder. And you just don't know what you're getting in the jar. My thoughts are, that's garlic that wasn't fit to sell all on its own. Of course, that's just my opinion. I don't know it to be true. If you do, let us know in the comments below the video. And we're just, like I say, mincing it up really nice and fine. The finer you mince it, the more there is to go around and flavor the pepper steak. I think that'll do quite fine, don't you? Let me get something to put it in. That's another thing you got to learn. You put your garlic in too soon, it'll burn and become bitter. I always put it in at the end. So we'll get out one of these here little stainless steel bowls and slide our garlic off in it so we can add it when we're cooking it all up. And there you have it. The prep work is done. The peppers are all chopped up, the onion, and the garlic too. So hey, let's get heating up a wok and get the cooking going. For me and all of you. Well, now we're over here at the old wok. I've had this thing forever. Before anybody says anything about being all scratched up and being a Teflon wok because it's black, no, it's not. It's an anodized steel wok, and it looked pristine for many a year until my son and his girlfriend got a hold of it and used steel utensils in it and scratched it all up. But it is what it is. It still works and does a fine job. So it's heating up. The first thing we're going to add in is a little bit of this toasted sesame seed oil. Well, about a tablespoon or two. You don't got to measure. A little too much ain't going to hurt. So we'll just let that start to heat up. Coat that wok all nice and fine. There we go. You'll know the oil's hot enough when it starts to shimmer and shine. Yeah, it's already starting to smoke a little bit because we got the heat on high. Now what we're going to add is we're going to place in our velvetized beef from the other day. It's been sitting in the fridge. Yes, it has. Woo! Did you hear that? Did you hear that sizzle? I hope you did. That's what we want to hear. There we go. Give it a good stir right away. Get that oil all incorporated. So the beef don't stick. Now, you watch this while I go rinse out my bowl. And we got the bowl all nice and clean. And we're just going to keep moving that beef around because it's wanting to stick to the bottom of that pan. Only thing I don't like about this anodized one is it tends to stick. Mostly it's because of the cornstarch that was in the marinating mix. So we're going to add a little more oil to keep that from happening. Just like that. Because we're stir frying here. That meat is just absorbing that oil on up. Now what you're going to want to do here is just cook your meat about 80% through. And then take it out, place it in a bowl, and then we're going to add a little more oil and start on our veggies and dump them in there before adding the beef back in for the final step. So let's get this to cooking and browning on up, and we'll return. Now we've been cooking this for about 10 minutes, and you can see that cornstarch and the moisture from the beef have started to make a little bit of a sauce. Yeah. And it's looking mighty nice. It maybe not look like what you have at the Chinese takeout, but this isn't that. This is my own recipe. Using my own recipe for velvetizing my beef. Well, I learned it from a Chinese chef. So I can't say it's my own, but it's one I've used for my own many a year. So what we're going to do now is go grab that bowl, and we're going to take off the beef. So we got a bowl there. And now, hopefully, without making quite a mess, we're going to go ahead and get this beef on out of here and into the bowl where it can rest. Now, it's still going to be cooking, but I already tried a piece and it was as tender as could be. Now, yeah, that was beef sirloin tip steak we used, but traditionally you can use flank steak, round steak, and what have you. We're going to add a little more oil to the pan. Let me grab out the vegetables that are sitting in the fridge. And here's our pepper and onion mix going right in. Now, you're just going to want to stir fry these to the doneness that you like. However tender that you want them to be. I like them to have a little bit of a bite. Look how pretty that is. So, we'll let them cook for a bit. Chat a little while. And we'll be back. Now, once your onions start to get just translucent and all break apart, as you can see right here, and we haven't been cooking all that long. Remember, stir frying is on high heat, and you can't go watch TV or chat on your phone. So this is just about right. You see how translucent those onions are starting to get? So now we're ready to add back in the beef. Yes, we do. So the beef's going to go back in, and we're going to start to stir that around. Oh, that's looking good. And I can't tell you how marvelous it's smelling too. Now, we haven't added our garlic yet. We're going to put that in too. I'm going to go rinse out this bowl while the meat and the vegetables get all happy. All those flavors. Because we're about to season it and it's going to be done. So I'm going to set my heat a little bit on low. Got that bowl all rinsed out. Everything's starting to look happy. Ooh, yeah. Let's go ahead and get our garlic on in there. Sprinkle it around. Get it all out there. Ooh, yeah. Now it's going to start coming together. And if it starts to stick and get a little dry for you, take you a little bit of water and put it on in. Now, we've got to start adding what makes it so fine. We'll be adding in the Kikkoman stir fry sauce, not frost. And that's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, right like that. And this is where you got to get it all mixed in. Get that stir fry sauce all mixed in. Of course, it's going to blend in with my velvetizing sauce that I use for the meat. Look at that. Tell me that don't look fine. Now I like a little bit more peppery bite, so I'm going to be adding 1/4 teaspoon of pure ground black pepper to the mix. If you're doing this at your home, you might want to go with 1/8, or you might be happy with just the way it is. I'm going to mix that all in. I can already smell that garlic coming alive. That's how you know your garlic's cooked, by the way. You'll smell the aroma. Yes, you will. And there you have it. That's pretty much it. We're just going to let it sit here and get all happy, all together. Let the flavors meld. Turn off the heat. And tonight, we're going to be eating this on some rice that I pre-prepared. Let me show you. It's just plain white rice. Now you could have it over noodles, and so I have. And my mother served it over potatoes more often than not. We weren't a rice family. We were a potato family. Ooh. And the smells are just amazing. So, I'm going to get a plate and start plating it up. And let's give it a taste test and see what you think. So like I said, we got a plate. And the best thing to do while it's still all hot is plate it up, give it a taste test, and start enjoying it. So we're just going to take out a little bit of that rice right here that cooked up all so nice. Ain't hard. You know, I'm not much on presentation, but I do what I can. Now to add on our pepper steak. Ooh yeah. Just gonna dig right in there. Drop some of that right on that nice rice. We got all cooked up. And if the sauce is too thick or too thin, you know what to do. Just add a little more water. If it's too thick, if it's too thin, you just cook it on down. There we go. What do you think? Come on over here and let me show it to you. Woo, look at that. That's my take on pepper steak stir fry. It ain't hard, especially if you're using the Kikkoman stir fry sauce. But it's not all that hard to make up your own. But the one key thing, and I'll show you in just a sec, is to make sure you're velvetizing your beef. So the true test of whether the beef is tender or not is to grab a fork and see, without the aid of a knife, if a fork will cut through it too. So we got a nice piece right here, right there, next to that nice, brilliant red pepper. Okay? And we're just gonna cut through it. Yeah, it's pretty tender to me. Let me give it a taste test off camera. Oh yeah, not only is it tender, but it's ever so flavorful too. And remember, this was sirloin tip steak. Not the most tender steak I could have bought, but not the toughest too. Oh yeah, baby. Ooh, that's fine. Let's do a whole taste test and see what we think. Oh, pardon my appearance. I was out in the yard before I came in to cook. Now, you see it there? Got rice, got some pepper, and some steak too. Let's give it a try. Yep. That's tasty. And that steak just fall apart in your mouth. Whew, that is good. And with the addition of that pepper, it just gave it a little bite that I like. So hey, hope you enjoyed this little cooking episode in the little old country kitchen with old Mr. Tom. And Gracie too, which decided to wake up after her afternoon nap. I hope you'll make this sometime in the near future for your family as well. It ain't hard, as you can see. And if you have another way of doing it, let us all know in the comments below the video. The community always likes to hear how all of you do it too. So hey, until the kitty crew, you know them all. Cleo, Spooky, Speedy, sometimes Eclipse, and now Fluffy Muffin, and of course the princess, little Gracie too, which is down below. See y'all on that next episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood. Y'all take care, stay safe, and God bless you as you bless those in your life. Goodbye for now. Gracie, you want to say anything? I appreciate your help today, getting everything out. Yeah, it was a big help. Now, if you just cut up the veggies and that would have been marvelous. What do you think, Gracie? Maybe next time? Who's to say? Huh? Look up here and see Papa and all your viewers and fans. Well, Gracie's not much on the camera, so we'll have to let her be. Later, all.